Okay, 2.5.48, vertex form. Find the min and max, and I might even go so far as to show you how to do the x-intercepts as well once we get there. So our original problem started out as the y equals 0.5x squared plus 1.5x plus 3.125. So using completing the square is going to get this in vertex form. Let me show you how that works. Can't have a coefficient on your x squared when you go to do the completing the square. So I'm going to divide or factor that out of there. And that's going to give me 0.5 times 3 is this 1.5x. We'll worry about this 3.125 later. Let's worry about just getting this written in the completed square form first. Whoops, I left off an x on that 3. All right, so continuing here, remember how you go into the squared form, you take half of this 3. So I'm going to use a decimal 1.5 here. You could do it as 3/2. Now, if I multiplied this all out right now, I would have, FOIL this out first, x squared plus 3x plus 1.5 squared is 2.25. Then I'm going to take all that times this 0.5 out in front. I would have 0.5 x squared plus 0.5 times this 3 is 1.5x. And then 0.5 times this 2.25 is 1.125. Well, if you compare that to my original problem, the 0.5x squared, check. The 1.5x, check. But my last two numbers don't match. So what do I need? 1.125, and I'm supposed to have 3.125. That seems like I need 2 more. If I added 2 onto here, wouldn't I have my 3.25? These two added together now do equal what I have there. So my equation in vertex form will be right there. Remember how you get your vertex out of there, or your minimum or maximum point? By the way, on this one, it's a parabola opening up because A is positive, so it'd be a minimum. Opposite of this 1.5, same sign out here is this 2. There would be my minimum on the vertex. I think that's everything that it asked you to find, but let's just take it one step further. Had they said find the x-intercepts, if you're on the x-axis, what does y equal? Hopefully you tell me 0. So I'm putting a 0 right here, so it gives me this equation. Just replacing the y with a 0. And why it's so nice to use this to find your x-intercepts when y is 0 is because you just undo your operations once you're in the perfect square form or the vertex form, whichever one you want to call this. Undo your operations. What am I going to move to the other side first? I would suggest that 2. This problem doesn't ask to do this, but it's all set up. So let's go ahead and do it anyway. After I move that 2 over, I gotta divide by that 0.5 to get rid of that, however you want to write that. I'll just show it like this. If 0.5 is a half, -2 divided by a half, that's going to turn that into 4, I believe. You can check that if you'd like. Oops, that was negative. And 1.5. Then I got a square root to get rid of that squared. Trying to get x alone, always. Don't forget a plus or minus on that. Negative square root is your I. Square root of 4 is your 2. And then I've got this x plus 1.5. I got to subtract that 1.5 over. Subtract that over to the other side. I've got a negative 1.5 plus or minus 2i. You might have to write those separately with a comma between. This problem doesn't ask for it, but there is how I would get my x-intercepts if it were asked from the vertex form or the completed square form from 2.5.48. Algebra 2 Math Excel homework.